Hello again, the ones that just joined us now. So we just apologize from everyone. We are a bit delayed and we're behind the schedule, but we are going to start in a few minutes. So enjoy your coffee and snacks for now, and then in a few minutes, we'll be there. Hey everyone. So let's have our seats and let's start. I hope everyone's doing good today. The weather really has not been very pleasing, but we are all here. So, welcome everyone. Welcome to our micro event. And thank you everyone for being us today. We really, really appreciate your presence here and taking the time today to be here. Our employers, our candidates, and everyone. We welcome you all to our micro event. My name is Mariam. I work as a facilitator with Grow Women Leaders here, and I will be facilitating our today's event. And I would like to extend a special thanks to Government of Alberta, the Government of Canada's Job, Economic and Trade Sector, and prospective employer partners. We have many of them here with us today. Thank you for joining us. Our speaker, Gurminder Dhillon, thank you. Our panelists, Ashley Petty and Karina Katz. I hope I'm pronouncing your names right. Thank you for being us with us today. Our board of direct members, Juria Dushima, Barry Ogbolo, Zama Nalifo, and our founder and CEO of Grow, Tracy Berry. Um, Candidates of Grow, we have many of them here, and in person, and those joining us virtually today on our Grow YouTube channel. We welcome everyone and our Grow staff and event planning team. Thank you, everyone, for all your support and help and the work that you have done behind this event today. And a warm welcome to everyone joining us virtually or in person. Thank you. Um, for the next 1 hour, we will be engaging you in discussions around creating diversity and inclusivity in our workforce. And our today's events theme is NurtureHer, building bridges to inclusive hiring. And before further ado, Grow Women Leaders respectfully acknowledges that we are situated on Treaty 6 territory, traditional lands of First Nations and Métis people. Grow is proud to be in partnership with Government of Alberta and Government of Canada's Job, Economic and Trade sector for this initiative, and we extend our thanks and appreciation for partnering with us as we collaborate together to bridge the gap to inclusive hiring and diversity. We have our agenda that will be shown on the screen shortly. So that's our agenda for today's event. Just a bit of housekeeping. I would like to let everyone know that the entire program today it's recorded, and so I would also request you to have your phones muted at this point. From this point, and we have our exits at the back and on the right of this room, and there is cafe. You can have coffee and snacks, and if you need any help, if you have any questions, we have our amazing Grow team with us here. You can ask them any questions, and if you need any help, they're always happy to help you. So at this time, let's see what our Grow candidates say. Let's look at the video and see what they have to say.
At Grow Women Leaders, we believe in continuous growth and development. That's why we provide access to comprehensive resources that empower women professionals and support their ongoing growth. From skill building workshops and online courses and career coaching, we provide a wide range of resources to help you enhance your expertise and stay ahead in your field.
The career coaching provided by Grow Women Leaders has been a game changer for me. I received personalized support and guidance that helped me navigate career transitions and make informed decisions. I'm now on a path to success that I never thought possible.
Through Grow Women Leaders, I gained access to valuable online courses and that helped me sharpen my skills and stay updated with industry trends. It gave me the confidence to take on new challenges and advance in my career. At Grow, I got hope, belief, and growth. So thank you, Grow.
Whether you're a seasoned professional looking to upskill or someone who's just starting their career journey, Grow Women Leaders is here to support you every step of the way. Together, we'll unlock your full potential and help you achieve your professional goals. Don't settle for mediocrity. Invest in your growth and unlock endless possibilities. Join Grow Women Leaders Talent Platform today.
Tracy Berry, please put your hand together for her.
Thank you very much. All right. How's everyone doing? It's a little bit dark here, so we thought you should see that. Maybe somebody can just eat the light and like we can turn on the light. Yeah, before switch. How's everyone doing today? It's all right. I know the weather was a little bit not on a favorable side, We've got a few candidates still coming, so hopefully they get here safely. So as Mariam said, my name is Tracy Florentia Berry. It's a pleasure to be here today and having you all in our space at the Grow Space. What I'm just going to be doing right now is telling you about Grow Women Leaders, what we truly do at Grow Women Leaders, and before we move on this event, and hopefully we can buy some time and then the candidates start coming in. Before I tell you about what Grow Women Leaders we do here, I would like to tell you about one of our candidates called Karima. Karima moved to Canada from Afghanistan to escape the political unrest in 2022. Karima was well educated with MBA in finance, but could not find a job in the area of our expertise. Karima was looking for a job for over a year until she came to Grow Women Leaders, where by the time we finished working with Karima, she got hired within 4 weeks. Um, when we talk about Karima's story, many of us can definitely resonate that Karima is not alone. As we all know, a lot of well educated migrants do come to Canada every year. Um, Hundreds of thousands, I have to say, come to Canada every year, and they keep looking for opportunity that Canada has in abundance, but can't find it until they come to Grow Women Leaders. This area is where Grow Women Leaders we've been working for the past 7 years. Over up to date, over 15,000 women have joined Grow Women Leaders across Canada. More than 3,000 they are receiving support through us every year. 800 trained so far, of which 75 or more get hired after our training. Last year, we all know, and it was announced, everyone know that more than 500,000 immigrants came to Canada, of which the stats shows that 10% are unemployed and 61% underemployed. What does that mean? 61% they are in a field that do not match the area of their expertise. As you can see, the graph here shows the distribution of the problem, how it's not even. People of color are greatly impacted. From 2016 to 2022, Canada welcomed 1.7 million immigrants, and is still set to continuing welcome 500 every year until 2026. We know that 46% of these immigrants are BIPOC and they are well educated, but can't find job in their area of expertise when they come to Canada. And we're talking about BIPOC. For those that do not know what BIPOC may stand for, it is Black Indigenous people of color. Though we work mainly with Black Indigenous women of color. Why is there a problem? Myself being an immigrant, I don't know if I can still consider myself an immigrant after 20 years being in Canada. But what I noted through my experience and those experience around of people around me is because of the lack of guidance and mentorship. These women, they come, they do not have support or the guidance that they need, and many of them fall off as they keep going. So this is where Grow comes in to give the guidance and the support and mentorship and the connection that they need. We are constantly building network for these women to be able to participate and training for them to be part of. Um, what's other place? The solution that we've created so far is we have created a physical space, which is all the space that you see there. That one is currently under construction, from child minding to training to all that is needed at Grow Women Leaders is what we have, an ongoing connection that we do here to ensure that these women get into the Canadian workforce. So as you can see this graph here, we are creating the largest database of professional women, especially when they are BIPOC or BIWOC in Canada as we speak. The next slide will now go. I know Carmen does not want to be. So every time we find ourselves telling our candidates that there is so many opportunity across various industry. Matter of fact, all industries are currently opening up. If you remember earlier that I said that many of these women are not connecting now because they don't know the opportunity that are in different industry. And this is what we're doing, giving them guidance on how to go about it. Our employers are telling us too, we don't even find the right candidates. How can we do that, especially when they are women? Let's talk about tech, where we had our previous event. Tech is currently booming, and so is financial industry, and so is hospitality. These women do not just have the guidance and support and education to navigate in. This is why we all, the employers and the candidates, are here today to tell our candidate about the opportunity that there is in those industries. And plus, we are working with partners every day to make that possible. From creating a pipeline of qualified candidates. And we're not talking about, oh, because they are women, hire them. We're not talking about, oh, because they are immigrant women, hire them. We are talking about candidates that are well qualified, candidates that's, you know, are hardworking. Those are the kind of women that we have in our community. And all we are just asking is you giving them this opportunity. I mean, for so far, our candidates, more than 40% of them have masters from different countries. I would say about 20% will say they have PhDs. And not to talk about 95% or more has some diploma or some degree of some sorts. And they are hardworking, as I said earlier. All they are just looking for is an opportunity for them to get in fields such as finance and hospitality, which usually they don't have. Also, we're already here too, because as you all may know, many immigrants will be getting into, let's say, healthcare, which we have an event coming up, and don't know that there is a lot of opportunity in tech, hospitality, and all that. This is where the support of the government of Alberta and Canada came in to allow us to educate and tell these women that there's opportunity everywhere. And this is what our employers today you're going to be talking about to our candidate that's going to be showing up. We currently have about 70, so we're just hoping that they find their way here, apply to come to this event, to come hear from everyone here. So, slide 14. These are all the employers that we're currently working with. We've been working with them through partnership, through hiring from us. They are supporting us to ensure that we are, making sure that this our mission is being heard and is being talked about, and people are utilizing it. We want to say to all of them that are participating one way or the other. So these are our partners, and yeah, we're just really excited. And just to conclude what I am here to say before we get into the proper event today, our women face a lot of challenges, not only in securing employment, advancing their career, but they are navigating all other financial hurdles. Not only are these women also good for hiring, many of them need opportunity to ensure that your services that you're providing, they need it. We're constantly doing our survey within our community, asking these women what they want. From many of them wanting to buy a new home, for many of them getting a credit card, for many of them getting a car and need mortgages. These are other things that our candidate that they need. So when we come together and we collaborate, you are having access to 15,000 plus candidates and still growing as we keep, navigating. That is going to be reaching out to your services. But all we want in return is also showing them how to get into financial industries and showing them what it takes to be ready for it. That's all we're asking. So once again, I want to say thank you to everyone that has taken the time out, irrespective of us having a bad weather in Edmonton for the past couple of days. It's getting better though. You still made it here, and I truly hope that our candidates can all show up to utilize all the opportunities that is going to be made available today. Of course, these are the picture of our candidates when they are in class. They are all trained. All you're waiting for is to get that opportunity to get hired. And this is where Grow Women Leaders come in to advocate, to showcase these women, and provide additional support for employer should they need it. I want to say thank you all for all that you do, and most importantly, to my team that make this possible. Because without them, none of this would have been possible. They are fantastic. Our agents in person, and we also have those online. And yeah, please put a hand of applause for all our team. that is working on this, from Jennifer to Mariam, to Carmen. So, and all the volunteers that we have. And together we're making this, building bridges to inclusive hiring. Thank you all so much for taking the time to be here today. And we look forward to, maybe partnering or working with you one way or the other. Yes, that'll be it.
That's too high for me. Thank you, Tracy, and thank you for all the amazing work that you do. We saw it here, and we know because we work here, and many of the candidates are here. They know how hard she has been working on all that. So for now, let me introduce to you all our today's main speaker, Gurminder Dhillon. Our speaker brings 10 years of experience, and Gurminder began his career in financial services industry 10 years ago. Throughout his career, he has developed expertise in various types of insurance, committing to client education as his priority. He believes in empowering individuals and business owners to make informed decisions about their financial needs. And beyond his professional achievements, he has been dedicated to community service by volunteering for the food bank, community kitchen, and annual community parades. And from all of this, we can definitely say that Gurminder has a passion for helping people. So please welcome him on the stage to the podium, and he is our guest speaker for today. Please welcome him.
Excuse me. Are you going to switch the slides for me? Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you for, first, I would like to say a thank you to the Community Grow program for inviting me to here to share what I have accomplished in last 10 years, what I do. This is my 10th year in this industry, and I love about it what I do on a daily basis. And this is all, what I do is basically what I practice, I preach. That's what I do. It's not that in my personal life, I do something, professional life, I'm two different person. And whenever Tracy reached out to me, and I was love to be, I say, you know what, I would love to be part of, to be where if I can help somebody or guide somebody, it's not that always that we have to be good. Okay, I will stay close to this mic. So, so I see, find an opportunity wherever I can to help somebody, irrespective of what their race is, what their color is, what their skin is. I don't care. I love if I can help somebody, guide somebody. It's not that if I'm an insurance as an advisor, somebody has to buy an insurance from me. That's the no. It can be I can guide somebody to a direction that can change somebody's life. I'm always into it. That's what I love about it. Being, I belong to a Sikhism community, and that's what we believe that if I can, whatever I earn, I should help somebody, and that's what we can fulfill my purpose. And that's why I choose this industry to be in as an insurance advisor from last 10 years. That's the number one reason. I'm not here into this industry just to make sales and make money. Because prior to the insurance, I've been into business development roles where I worked with Nmax Energy, I worked with Telus, I worked with a little bit with BMO, many other companies. But those are all great companies. But for the things I was looking at it, I was not able to finding. Then I slowly, because I'm also an immigrant, as they're talking about what are the challenges as a new immigrant faces, I realized that part. Because 15 years ago, when I landed to this beautiful, great country, I was just 22, 23-year old at that time. Have not much experience, just had a bachelor's degree. Having facing that challenge, not enough experience. Many of you who comes in their late 30s or in their 40s, they face, oh, you're overqualified. I face the challenge, I'm underqualified. I gotta need a more experience. So that's how I was looking for something where I can make money, I can make a career for myself, and also at the same time I can help the community, I can help people. Because if I need to help somebody, I need to help my family. Would you guys all agree with that? If I can help my family first, then no matter how much I can say I can help the community, I can help somebody, that help will not gonna be a help. It will be always be a greed how I can take advantage of somebody. So that's why I choose this career. When I'm into this career where I get to sit down with the Canadian families, irrespective, what I love about what I do is I don't ask for what kind of portfolio you have to invest. How much money are you ready to invest with me? I don't care about that part. That's what I love about it. I can work with anybody. Somebody want to ready to start saving $100 a month to $100,000 a month. I can work with them. That's what I love about it. That when I'm sitting down on a kitchen table or somebody sitting down in my office, I don't care what kind of portfolio they have, what they're looking for. I say, okay, tell me how I can help you. Is there something I can add a value towards it? Because I don't want to make you sell you something which you don't need it. Because that's what happens being in the insurance industry or in financial services. Many people get sold without knowing what exactly they're buying. That's the number one challenge because I faced it. Because when I was young, when I was going to looking for different tools for how I can save money, how I can grow my money, somebody says go and invest here, invest there. I'm scared. Some says, go and invest in a mutual fund if you need aggressive investments. But nobody is there to tell me how exactly it works. Because why? Because I do not have $100,000, $500,000 portfolio to start begin with. I was just a rookie, just a startup. And nobody is there to help me, guide me, which direction should I go. But that's what when I get into the insurance world, I started learning. I was not full time into this, into as an insurance advisor. I slowly, I started learning. And then in few years, I started falling in love with it. I faced many challenges in the beginning. We say, oh, you started selling now insurance, this and that. I said, I know what I'm doing. And here I go out and sit down with anybody and I help. That's what it drives me. And I have created a few slides presentation because this is my first time I was here. And moving forward, maybe next time when they will do another event like this, maybe I will prepare. For now, I have a better idea what exactly these guys are doing, and maybe we can help more. And I will work with them, and I will love to do that. And now I will share a few things that what exactly I do, what kind of how I help Canadian families. It's not about selling because there are many people out there who are ready to sell, but not many people out there who can actually show you that what is good for you and for your family. That's what I do, and that's what I love about it and being passionate about. And being 10 years, I have a bachelor's in commerce, and then I did my marketing management financial services diploma. Then I got my license, and then I'm always learning every day. This is what I love about being in this industry, that I am a student of this practice. I'm not a master. I don't say that I know everything. I'm learning every day. I come here, I was just listening to everybody. I'm learning some of the things, grabbing here, which I'm going to go out and implement some of the things into my own practice so that I can become a better version of myself every single day. That's what I love about what I do. So now, as you see, the financial education is a necessity for every single family. Would you guys all agree with that? Because every single one of you or whoever is listening online, everybody's going out and working hard to earn their dollars. Many of us as an immigrant, we leave back home to come to Canada to live a better life. But when we come here, we don't know how money and finances works in this part of the world. Many are very well educated, but they have no idea how to manage my money better. And I think if you can learn how to manage your money better, that's the moment you can start living your life. Doesn't matter. Sometimes we think that, if I can start making $10,000 or $15,000 a month, then only I will start living a better life. If you're thinking in that way, then you're absolutely thinking wrong. Sometimes I see people make $20,000, $25,000 a month, but they don't even have $100 into their bank account. And on the other side, I see people making $3,000 or $4,000 a month. They have $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 into their bank account. Now, what is the difference is? Because somebody knows how to manage the money and somebody know how to make more money, but they have no idea, no clue how to manage their money better. That's what I do. That's what I show people, that how you can manage your money better, how your money can work for you. Because if you are just focusing on working for a money, then have a good luck. The day you will have your last breath, you got to go to work. If you don't know how to put your money to go to work. Because when your money is going to work, your money does not need a day off. We need a day off, right? We have to take a day off in a long weekend and all that stuff. So now let's jump into my quickly next slide. So see, this is one of the concept I teach about understanding the X curve concept for for having a fruitful financial future. Now, what is this X curve? So if you can just go next. Now you see, this is the X curve. The first thing we see the responsibility. As we are young, at a young age, we have a higher responsibility because we have a higher debt, right? We are young. So we need to be, and that when we are at that stage, when we are at a higher responsibility, now what comes with the higher responsibility? Can you please next? We have a higher debt because we have a mortgage. We have dependents, like we have a kids. Now in this area, we make most money, but also this is the higher earning risky period as well. That if something happens to me, where would I go? Where would my family will go? Now, as this curve is going down, as we are getting older, our responsibilities are going down, and as I'm getting older, my incomes are growing, my savings are growing. Now, at that time, what do I need? I need a retirement income, I need a generational wealth, or I need a money for my kids' education because if my kids has to go to higher education, so I need money for that because if my kids has to go to a university and all that stuff, right? So this is what I teach, and if you can jump on the next one. Yeah, go next. So now, until people gets the right financial education, they don't know what is missing in their finances. That's what I teach about, and that's what I preach that how we can help these Canadian families. So if you can go next. Now, there are four cornerstones to empire financial strategies. This is very important to teach as a professional. If I want to get into this industry, so I should learn about this so that I can go out and teach many others, and I can have a great career. So first thing, that my money should grow. Does your money have a growth potential? Second thing, does your money is safe while you're growing your money? The third thing, protection. Does your money is protected, or is I just gambling with my money? And the fourth thing is a tax advantage. While I'm building that wealth, while I'm teaching that to my clients as an advisor, should I showing all these things into a same plan where all these things can be have for my clients? And also, if somebody wants to come in as an advisor, that should I know all these things are into my plan, so that I can go out and teach others and I can create a career for myself and for my family. And I can teach the same thing if somebody wants to come out and do the same thing. If you can go to the next one, please. And now, there's a three rules of money that we educate families. This is as an advisor, I go teach myself and I go out and teach the same thing to the others. Now, let's look into this. And this is my last slide. The first thing is that the rule of 72 is a compounding effect. Now, how many people know the rule of 72? Right? There's 2, 3 people. But this is a very important aspect of your learning as an advisor or when you're going out and you're teaching this to the families. Now, if you divide that, whatever rate of return you're getting on your money, in that many years, your money will double. If you're having a 1% rate of return on your 10,000, you're getting only $20,000 at about age, at 101, if you're 29-year-old today. Second one, if you go to 4% or 6%, if you see, as the higher your rate of returns go, your money can double the quicker, and then you have a more money. That's what I teach to everyday families. And that's what if somebody wants to get into this industry as an advisor, if I know all these things, then only I can have a great career into this. And that's what I teach. And now the last one, if you see, the return goes from 1% to 10%. Not many people believe this is possible, but if you have the right education, if you know, this is possible. That same $10,000, but having a 10% rate of return, now your money start doubling every 7.2 years. Now that same $10,000 go to $640,000. As a person, if I don't know how to compound my money, how to manage my money, then what I lose is $620,000. Right? Now, if you can jump on to the next one is a risk effect. What are the risk effects? That's what I teach about. Is that, do you want to put your money into no growth? Your money safe? Or you want to put a growth with a risk? Or you want to put your money with grow without risk? So your money is not at risk, but you're still growing your money. And then the final one is, that's the most important part, the tax effect. As I said, the tax impact on your savings. Tax now, tax later, or you want to go for a tax advantage. Now, what is tax now? Savings account or GICs? You put money there, you have a rate of money, you're receiving any returns. So you might be getting T5. You go to tax later, RRSP, pension plans, real estate or stock market. Later on, you have to pay the taxes. This is what I do on daily basis. And tax advantage, there are many tools. This is what I teach to the everyday Canadian families as an advisor. That's what I fall in love with. Now, as an advisor, if I want to build a career for myself, and there are many opportunities in this industry for as a new immigrant, because this when I get into this industry, I get a chance to learn for myself. And that's why it get chance to with many others that if you want to get into this industry, for that you need a right guidance. That what are the tools you need to follow that you can also make a career into this industry. Because if this industry does not need ask for uh, how much experience do you have, but here you if you have a will to do something great in your life, then you have a chance. So if any of you want to learn more, reach out to Tracy. You can have my contact information from her, and then I will love to guide you guys. That if ever you guys are looking for any guidance, that if you want to build your career into this industry, and I love to sit down with you guys, whatever guidance you need, I can provide you. I can guide you. That's what I do, and that's what I feel the fulfillment. I hope I added some value, and 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 as I said, this was my first time. We will come next time, we will prepare more that how we can see to help this community. And I love about it what they do. And this is what I love to be part with them. And if I can help somebody or one person at a time, I think that's a great thing I can get. Thank you very much. That's all from me. I hope I added some value to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Gurminder. That was amazing. And as he just said, it's not necessary how much we earn, it's necessary how we manage our finances. So for now, I would like to invite a special guest from Roya Bank, um, Bablin. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Please put your hands together for a short note from CBC, CIBC Bank. Sorry, from CIBC Bank. Please welcome. Just put your hands together for her.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the warm welcome. My name is Badleen. I'm the manager client advice at CIBC. No, it's CIBC, sorry, not RBC. That's okay, not a problem. But I work at the Jasper Avenue Commerce Place location. I've been with CIBC for over 2 years. And before I go into my journey, I just want to start by saying hello once again to everybody. And sorry, I haven't come prepared. I wasn't expecting to speak today. But just to start with a little bit about myself. When I was hearing about your journeys, as some of you shared here, I can resonate really close to you guys because I myself, I'm an immigrant who came to Canada a few years back. And I have completed my master's in business administration in finance. Before coming to Canada, I was an assistant professor in management subjects back in India. And as I moved to Canada, I myself was looking for job opportunities matching with my career, which was in the past again. I started my banking career as a customer service representative, which is the entry level position. And I joined at a different institution, another bank in Canada. And soon after that, I would say within the period of 2 years, I moved into different sales role within that company, and later I moved to CIBC because I got an excellent opportunity to join this institution. Since then, since I joined CIBC, I've seen a lot of growth within the last period of I'm completing 3 years next month. Um, it's been a beautiful journey. As soon as I've started, I've been lucky to work with some great leaders who have learned personally a lot of things from. Um, and they have been a great mentors and support for career growth. So I understand the crowd we have here today are, again, many immigrants who are looking to be part of the financial industry. So I wanted to share my journey a little bit to say, yes, there's ample opportunities out there. I am right now as a leader, we do hiring a lot. We have great talent partners in our banking center, in our bank, who support the various banking centers across Edmonton and other regions. So, if you are looking to start your career, we'll be very happy to assist. We are most welcome. I also have other leaders from CIBC who have joined us today. And as I mentioned, yes, banking industry is evolving, and we do look for great aspirants, just like you guys. If you're interested, I will be sharing my email address and my communication, my phone number with Tracy. And please feel free to connect with us. Share your resumes. We'll connect you with our talent partners. And we'll be, even if you're not looking to join CIBC or any other financial industry, we'll be happy to support you or provide a guidance on what your career path will look like. It is important to understand, yes, we value your educational qualifications. We understand you come maybe more than masters with PhDs and other qualifications, professionals. If you're looking to start your banking career, please do not hesitate. You might have to start as a scratch. You might have to start with entry level positions, but there's ample opportunities for growth. And CIBC is a very diverse employer. I'm very proud to say we have been ranked number one in different things like gender equality or diversity, inclusion, for various different things. Even I would say for students who are looking to start their banking career, we have been ranked number one, best employer award, and there's so many others that the list is very long for CIBC, and I'm a very proud employee personally of being part of it. And just as my journey and so many others, I understand. So we are always very happy to support anybody else who is looking to again begin their banking career. So very excited to meet you all. If you have any questions or if you're looking for any kind of guidance, please feel free to reach out to one of us and we'll be happy to help you with that. Thank you. Did anyone have any questions? Um, our team will be here till 5. Please feel free to come and connect with us. If we do leave, you can again just reach out to us on our phone number. Tracy has my information. Thank you.
Thank you, Badeline. We are equally excited to meet you. And again, our candidates are here, so feel free to ask them questions and join them. So for next session, um, we will be now moving to our panel discussion. I'm sure many of you have been waiting for this part because it's going to be interesting. And you have been waiting to hear from our special guests and our panelists. So let me introduce them to you. Um, Karina Cutts and Ashley Petty. So Karina started in her career in hospitality industry when she was only 18, and it was at first a way just to pay for her education, but then quickly turned out as a passion. That passion has created a very fulfilling journey career for her, which led her to Cisco 18 years ago. And working with Cisco's customers to understand their needs and creating partnerships that extend beyond businesses. And Karina strives to see every member of the team succeed and is fueled by their success. Please welcome Karina to our stage. And let me introduce our second panelist for today, Ashley. Ashley has a 24 years career with Cisco, during which she has held various positions spanning from operations, finance, and merchandising teams. She currently serves as procurement manager at Cisco Priories and overseeing a team of 21 categories planners, including service objectives across the 4 sites in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Additionally, she serves as the strategic partnership chair for Cisco's Food for Thought colleague. It's a colleague resource group which works on mental health, and she also chairs the sustainability committees in the priories. As a dedicated mental health advocate, she emphasizes the importance of diversity, inclusivity, allyship, and awareness, believing in creating a safe and supportive environment for individuals to flourish. Please welcome Ashley, everyone. And also, please welcome Tracy Berry, who will be questioning our panelists for today. And also, if you have any questions during the discussion, please have them with you. So at the end, we will have the question and answer discussion and the session. So please have your questions with you. At the end, we will be doing the question and answer session. Yeah.
Thank you very much. For this session, we're going to be inviting our president, Judith Dupila, to facilitate this panel.
Thank you so much, Tracy. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Karina. Thank you, Ashley. Okay, you ready? All right, so today's the last day of Black History Month, and I would imagine that you've all heard like so many diversity and inclusion talks this month. Maybe some sort of overdose at this point, but I don't think we can have enough diversity and inclusion conversation. So this conversation, this panel is going to be diving into diversity and inclusion. So get your questions ready. Are we ready? Is everyone ready? Yes. Or if we don't want diversity and inclusion talk, we can just end this sequence here. We can go low. So pull up my question here. So I have questions for each of you. Yeah. So I will direct them to Karina and then ask me, and then if you have anything that you want to add, go ahead. Okay? So, first question is there was an event that we had a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a couple of months ago. It was in tech, and most of our the people that were on the panel, they spoke very passionately about diversity and inclusion, and they did say that it meant different things to different employers. So this particular question is to Ashley. How would you describe or define diversity and inclusion in your employment or your workplace?
Okay, can you hear me okay? I don't normally use a microphone. Normally I'm super loud, so this is different. I would say that in the hospitality industry, obviously Cisco we do food. That's our thing. And so to me, when we look at what that means, it really embodies culture. Culture is the heartbeat of hospitality. It's the heartbeat of the food service industry. All parties begin in the kitchen. That's where the jive is. So for us as an employer, I believe that, and it's really strong diversity and inclusion strategy is quintessential to success. So that brings forth, leveraging all of the talent, the different perspectives, all of the components of people showing up authentically and bringing those ideas to the table, having that seat at the table that allows us to build on things as a business that would have normally been outside of our own periphery, right? So taking that and leveraging that really is quintessential. When I look at it for myself, it really comes down to the power of people showing up authentically and how that drives a team's momentum forward, right? And when a team is driving that momentum forward, the business is driving forward, and you're continuously able to innovate and create things that maybe you wouldn't have if there weren't more people and more voices at the table.
Karina, do you want to add something? No? Okay, for sure. Yeah, I really love that you mentioned authenticity because I think that's, like when people take their whole selves to work, they put in their whole selves, and they do best that they can do. So I really love that you mentioned that. Thank you. All right. So the next question is, Karina, you're from one of the top industries that serves a diverse set of people. How are you able to recruit talent or build diversity, inclusivity that is able to reflect the customers that you serve?
I'm the same. You shouldn't give me a microphone. Probably keep talking. I made some notes just to keep me on focus here. So as Ashley mentioned, Cisco is a food distributing company. So we're very fortunate that the industry we serve is very rich in a diverse setting. A lot of food is at the heart of many communities, cultures, and regions, around the world. Edmonton has a great reflection of that within the hospitality industry. So for Cisco, we aren't the restaurants and the servers and the bar and the kitchen managers and chefs, but we're supporting them in the background. So for us, it's important that we build an internal culture that reflects the market that we provide services to. When we're recruiting, we really are looking internally to see if our business really is reflective of our customers and the dynamics that are within this industry. We help to build different tools that support our customers, to be thriving businesses and to, have a diversity within them, but also build tools for our employees, our colleagues, to be able to be successful in supporting those customers. We continuously train our team to understand different cultural processes or needs or communications so that we can really effectively work together. We look to see if our product mix is reflective of our communities and the global fusion that is required to support them throughout. And then also, within building that diversity and inclusion, it was mentioned in Ashley's bio, we did start some colleague resource groups to really help our colleagues understand the diverse marketplace that we serve. So these really allow our members to really show up authentically, understand how they can be, a better ally to different cultures and communities within our employee sector, and really bring different training and diversity to each of our colleagues, so that we continuously begin, or I guess stay to be the leaders within the market.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. I think it's very important because, like you mentioned, training your employees and all of that. And I know we're talking about, immigrants and, people that are not, don't look the same and all of that. So I just feel like, training your employees, like you mentioned, like if somebody were to come and maybe they interact with them, maybe a customer is having difficulties and all of that, but then they see someone who kind of like resonates with their pain points. I think that's very important. So yeah, thank you so much. All right. So next question. I think this question ties back to the first question that I asked. Ashley, what are the most important things about having a diverse workforce?
And I guess my answer kind of ties back to my first answer also, so that's coincidental. Um, Really, it ties back to the fact that the more perspectives you can have at the table, the more opportunities and ideas that you can bring forth with a different set of ideas, it flips the business or, a team's mindset from this mono train of thought. So we're constantly able to have people who feel like they can show up authentically, they feel like they can bring their ideas forward, and then present those ideas, strategies, and opportunities that wouldn't have existed before. And if I elaborate on Karina's response, one of the things that really makes my heart huge about being part of Cisco is that our culture is so built on focusing on leveraging everybody's strengths and opportunities and that diversity that is brought to the table, that we're also not afraid, or nor do we shy away from the ability to check ourselves against our own values, our own mission, our culture statement, right? And really expand on what once was and willing to move forward into what is going to be, right? And so I think that when you're building your diversity and inclusion strategy and you're looking at why that's so quintessential to a business, it really is because you can't have the same group of individuals all thinking the same way and continuously be moving forward in an ever changing world, right? And so without having people at the table with those different perspectives, that change does not exist.
That's wonderful. I feel like with technology and everything, things are changing so fast that, like you did mention people bringing different perspectives and like different ideas and everything to make a change, to be able to grow. So, really amazing. Thank you. All right. So next question is for Karina. So there have been recent talks about shortages of skills in the labor market. What are some of the skills shortages that you have identified as an employer or your industry? Oops.
Thank you. Um, so I know not everyone likes to talk about the pandemic, but the pandemic really, really hit the hospitality industry hard, and it shifted a lot of talent away from the hospitality industry for a variety of reasons. And so, um, again, when I speak about the hospitality industry, it encompasses, businesses like restaurants, hospitals, anything that provides, food away from home. And so some of those roles really are people centric, and they really require hands-on um, experience, or I drew a blank on the name, but it relies on people being in the business to execute those roles. And so ever since the pandemic, has been over, that labor shortage still remains. We're really trying to focus in on grassroots recovery, to really educate people on the opportunity that exists within the hospitality industry. So businesses like Cisco, we sometimes aren't the first choice or easily recognizable as a hospitality industry opportunity. And it does bring a wide, diverse opportunity within different departments. We've got financial, we've got supply chain management and procurement, we've got sales, we've got culinary specialists. So it's really diverse, really, in the roles and aspects that we have. So for Cisco, we really started to focus in on how do we educate potential talent of our, different roles that we have available. So, using LinkedIn as a possible recruitment tool, looking for people who have the skill set and talent that align with our business, and reaching out to them and educating them on what we have. And then also going back to really focus on our culture and purpose. So the main piece that we try to focus on is keeping the talent that we have, and how do we level them, upwards, and grow within the organization, and have that continuous movement. And so focusing in on our culture and our purpose really allows us to strengthen our retention within our own community.
That's awesome. Thank you. I just have a follow-up question for this one, if you don't mind. So we talk a lot about shortages and skills and all of that stuff. And I do know that there are certain people that are still looking for jobs, especially like immigrants. I'd imagine we have people here who are looking for jobs. So I'm just wondering, is it that people just don't apply? Or like, I'm trying to understand what the main problem is.
Well, I don't know if I can pinpoint the main problem. I know that um, um, for us, and even, the industry that we serve, it is finding people who want to work within the role. But I think it comes, I think with the pandemic, there's been lots of shift of, there's some flexible work environments and, some different benefits that, people are looking for their own personal needs. And in the hospitality industry, like I said, it's really needing to be hands-on, like in the business, doing the roles. And I think there maybe is a stigma around it being, maybe an entry level role. But in my bio, I was 18 when I started in the hospitality industry, and I just loved the energy and the passion and the sociability that it brought, and was able to really define a career. And some people, I don't think, understand the pathway that it can really lead. So it really is that education. And for us, we get a ton of resumes. But when it comes down to finding the quality candidate, it's the follow up has been really difficult. So
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, that clarifies the question. Yeah, and it's interesting that you mentioned entry level. I know that like there's certain jobs that people look at and just look down on. But I think in the world that we are in right now, I feel like every single job or whatever experience that you have can be transferable. Like it's very important. So entry level, no entry level. I hope you just apply.
I was just going to say, if entry level is what scares you, you can use Karina and I as both a testament to complete entry level. I was 15 when I started at Cisco. That was most definitely entry level. And, Karina started entry level in the hospitality industry also. And, like it takes time. You also need to be willing to understand that the role you hold today may not be the one you want tomorrow. It's a stepping stone, right? So there isn't always even the need for corporate growth on the corporate ladder. Sometimes you need to crawl the lattice, right? So I think that's sometimes what we see is there's people who come in that immediately want their dream position, or immediately want that gratification of I've made it, right? And sometimes we need to sort of understand what that is, because what you think you want may be totally different in the end. So I guess what is that? Willing to have an open mind, growth mindset? Yeah.
Sure. That's amazing. Thank you so much. So we're moving on to diversity in leadership. And this is for you, Ashley. Do you think this matters? And if it does, why?
More than any other piece of business. Mic drop. Yeah, I think that, when we look at what leadership does, what they're there to do for a business, right? They are at the helm of the ship. They are driving the bus. They're doing all the things, right? So it is really our leadership group of individuals that are driving that engagement strategy, that are creating that culture, that mission, those set of values. So where would we be if the leadership itself wasn't diverse? Right. So I think that without question, it matters. It needs to be, if a business was looking at their strategy and where to improve, that's the first place you start. What does your representation look like? How are you inviting more people to the table within leadership? And then you cascade that down through the business, right? So I think that, it's super important for businesses, like I said earlier, to constantly be checking themselves against their mission and their mono train of thought. Right? You can't have all the same people and the same types of decision making, habits and patterns sitting at the same table. So more than any other component in business, the leadership strategy needs to be diverse in order to drive that diversity further through the roots of the business.
I will add something, kind of a true story. Um, so, definitely some reflection on the diversity and inclusion and just, why leadership matters. So Ashley and I were both very fortunate where, we started at Cisco Edmonton, and I would say that that inclusive leadership was always really present. And so it really did carve out a path of, what could we achieve within, Cisco as a career. We were very isolated, and we were a unique example at Cisco Edmonton, because as we looked around, our other companies throughout Canada, they did not have the same inclusivity. We had a very 50-50 male to female leadership within kind of our scope of work, but we'd look at a similar book of business or a company, and they didn't have a single female leader. And it was like, how is that possible? And so, they would look towards Cisco Edmonton and ask, like, how are you creating this environment? And it really came from having the dynamic and having the example set that, leadership really had to be inclusive to have a great voice and to create that stepping stone for others to have the confidence to continue in the path. So
That's amazing. Thank you. This conversation just reminded me about an event. I think it was an International Women's Day event that happened, and there were like all male people on the panel. So like, how do you talk about International Women's Day without women on the panel? So that comes down to the leadership thing. Do you want to add something?
Yeah, I was just gonna. That cracks me up. I was just gonna say, equally as important though is males in the workplace willing to advocate and ally for women, other women willing to advocate for women that come from different places as them, like obviously it's inherently important that you are reaching your hand out and carrying whomever you can with you forward, right? Whomever they are, whatever they look like. So to have a Women's Day panel full of men, so long as those men are carrying everyone along with them to the growth, to success, and they're supporting that, that's cool, because ultimately that's what we need, right? We're all here to support each other in forward momentum.
It's amazing. Thank you so much. And I think it comes to like inspiration too, right? Like when you see somebody in leadership who, looks like you or whatever it is, you could draw inspiration from whatever they're doing, and who knows? All right. Oh yeah. So last question. So just one message or point you would each say or leave with our employers regards to inclusivity and diversity. Karina, you want to start?
I guess so. My message is maybe not brief, but really to have inclusivity and diversity within a workplace, it really has to be intentional. We have to all really influence the change and bring the diversity and inclusion around us. We need to be aware of our internal biases, both, from a leadership perspective or a recruitment perspective, but also individually. If you go into an interview or applying for a role, and if you have internal biases, that is going to, directly affect you. So being aware of those so that we really are being intentional in our decisions. So stop, pause, reflect, and really take in the environment that you're in, and ask yourself, how do you directly influence the change? And then I guess, in quick note is having a diverse and inclusive business or workplace really should be cherished. It has so much benefit to the business. It brings undeniable strength to the team and to the people who are contributing to it. It cultivates a variety of voices and really brings different perspectives so that you see all angles of it, and makes you more agile and more competitive. And it brings a unique set of skill sets that really complements, every member of the team, and really brings true fulfillment for those in the workplace. It has so many positive benefits that we need to continue to challenge it and continue to be intentional.
Okay, I'm going to refer to my notes since I've gone rogue this whole time. But because I want to make sure that I capture exactly, I spend a lot of time reflecting on this question. I want to make sure I captured exactly how I wrote it. So when we look at diversity and inclusion, and I'm going to strike out the hospitality industry and I'm going to speak just in generality here, but it truly is what makes this world wonderful and defines our collective identity, our differences. Let's celebrate the beauty of those differences within all aspects and embrace them as opportunities for each of us to learn, grow, and challenge ourselves together. Appreciate the strength found in the variety of all the voices, skills, and talents at the table. You will not only be creating a richer team, you will be cultivating a space genuinely valued and celebrated, leaders, colleagues, and customers alike. Our differences are the fabric of what makes us whole.
Whew, mic drop. That's amazing. Thank you all so much. Yeah, like it's just really, really interesting that, you guys spoke so passionately and so deeply about diversity and inclusion, and that makes me really happy. And also, just in addition to what you two said, to employers, I think it's also important talking about intentionality to also just make sure that you educate yourself. Like, just don't rely on um, people to tell you what you need to do. It's important to educate yourself about everything that has to do with diversity and inclusion. So thank you both so much. I don't know if we have any questions. We're not taking questions. Okay. All right. Awesome. So thank you so much. A round of applause. Round of applause for Karina and Ashley. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Karina. Thank you, Ashley. And thank you, Juliet, for the amazing job you did. And I'm sure we talked about inclusivity, diversity. That's what we are here for. And that's what Tracy is working on for more inclusive hiring. And I know you guys have questions, so please just wait for them at the end. And at this point, I would like to call Folake from the team lead newcomers specialist. She is a newcomers specialist and she's the team lead of that at RBC Bank. Please welcome her and let her share her thoughts.
Thank you, and good evening, everybody. Yes, my name is Falake Okusoya. I'm the team lead of the RBC Newcomers Specialist Team here in Edmonton, the unit of RBC that supports all newcomers to Canada, regardless of where they choose to bank. And yes, it's a very unique team because it was designed for the purpose of understanding every newcomer's needs with the aim of providing the advice to help them settle faster. And as we all know, one of the areas where newcomers need guidance and advice is in the area of careers. So what RBC does is to put things in place in line with the purpose. And the purpose of RBC is to help clients thrive and the communities prosper. And since in the year 2016, it was discovered that 20% of the people in our community were not born in Canada. And maybe now it might have been different because this is about 8 years ago, right? And if we really do that estimate again, maybe it's about 40% of the people we have in our communities that were not born in Canada. And if such a number of people form part of our community, RBC is interested in their welfare and in their prosperity because the bank understands that if the newcomers thrive, our communities will thrive. And since we all form part of that community, we'll all thrive together. That's the whole idea behind this initiative. So while we're here today, we're here to connect with people who are interested in careers in banking. We know that RBC certainly cannot employ everybody, but the little we could do is to provide the advice and guidance needed for everyone who is considering careers in banking. What are we looking for? What can you do to be competitive? Some of the things that the panelists talked about, like I think Ashley talked about falling up the ladder. It is not a bad thing to crawl up the ladder. I know there are times when you think, oh, I was a manager back home. I want to be a manager when I get here. Yes, you can be a manager when you get here, and it's not impossible. But sometimes it's okay to stoop to conquer, right? I always use the analogy of a bow and an arrow. Whenever you're trying to launch an arrow forward, you always have to pull back right? You have to pull back that arrow first of all and then release it to launch forward. So if you have to start from the scratch, it's okay. I'll tell you my story. Originally born in Nigeria, grew up in Nigeria, born and bred in Nigeria, studied, went to school, did everything in Nigeria, started a career in human resource management in Nigeria. And I really rose to the ranks of a manager before moving to Canada. And guess what? On getting to Canada, I had a career switch to banking. And yes, it's possible that you probably have no experience in banking and you want to work in the bank, and you can. So I'm trying to say this, that don't discourage yourself. You might have those transferable skills already. It's how you're going to move those skills into the roles. So of course, I started my career as a client advisor with RBC. The role is actually an entry level position. Guess what? It was an amazing opportunity to learn the business, learn all the policies and procedures, and eventually combining my previous HR experience and skills I built in the past, combined with my exposure at that level, I was able to create a profile that qualified me for even more roles with the organization. So what I'm trying to say is this: there are times when you have to stoop to get into the system, and when you are in the system, you get the opportunity to see every other growth opportunities with that organization, versus if you had stayed outside waiting for that big dream role. Yes, the dream role may come, but it may take longer. And it's okay to get a detour in your career. You might be heading in one direction and then you have to go through another route to get there. When there's a detour, it doesn't mean you won't get there. You will get there. It might take longer, but of course you'll eventually get there. So bottom line, what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't matter whether you have your experience from Canada or from back home. RBC recognizes every experience you've got. And I don't want anybody to discount themselves if they don't have Canadian experience. RBC is a diversity and inclusion employer, and regardless of what you look like or your background, just come the way you are, you may find a place in RBC. So we're here with you today for the rest of the evening. If you have questions about careers with the banking industry, we'll be here to answer them all. Thank you.
Thank you, Folake. That was amazing. And we have one more guest from, we have John with us here today from WFG. Please put your hands together for him.
All right. I don't like to stand behind a podium. You could actually, you know what? You can probably hear me without a microphone, right? You guys are good? Oh, okay. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So yeah, like, what's your name? Mariam said, I'm from World Financial Group, and very proud to be a part of World Financial Group. Funny story. I asked Jennifer, where's Jennifer? She's not here. She's gone and hidden. Oh, there she is. Okay. About an hour and a half ago, I asked Jennifer, I said, will you require me to speak at this event? What did Jennifer say? What do you think she said? Jennifer said no. So, unlike the ladies at the back who were super well prepared from Cisco, they got to prepare notes, and I've been asked just to kind of wing it, which I'm okay at. So, I've been with World Financial Group for 7 years. I'm a senior broker there, and I work on 50th Street here in Edmonton. And yeah, I think our company is extremely well qualified to speak for the reason why we're here today. I'll give you a little bit of background about the company. Who's heard of World Financial Group before? Okay, if you have, there's some good things out there, and some people have had some bad experiences. Okay, and I apologize for the people that have created those bad experiences for you. Okay, so our company has had a presence in Canada for 23 years. All right, and a little known fact: we are the largest group of independent insurance and investment brokers in Canada. 23,000 licensed agents in Canada, across Canada. Now, everybody knows a company called Edward Jones, right? Or a household name. I did some math. They have 2,000 licensed agents across Canada. So we dwarf them by 10 times. So our company, like I said, has been in Canada for 23 years. It's owned by a company called Aegon, which is one of the top 5 largest financial companies in the whole world. And they are a company that is 180 years old. Does anybody know how old Canada is? 153, maybe 167. So this company that owns the company has been a company longer than Canada has been a country. Okay, what do? Our mission statement is no family left behind, and that means everybody, absolutely everybody. Because here's the reality, everybody in Canada, and I guess in North America and almost around the world, I would say, if you're wealthy, I'll ask someone to answer this question. If you're wealthy or considered rich, you have a very different experience in the financial industry than if you're not. Yes, very much so. Very much so. Our financial industry is built to cater to people that are wealthy because it pays the advisors the most money, right? That's 99% of our population. Okay. That's 9 people out of 10 who get left behind by the financial industry, right? And that's our mission, is to make sure that nobody gets left behind. And that's why we were built. So I'm going to shift gears a little bit, and I'm going to talk a little bit about me for 30 seconds. And whenever I speak, I like to say that I am not a career financial services professional. I am now, but I haven't done this my whole career. I've been doing this for 7 years. I had a very long career for 22 years before that. So I like to give an audience 3 guesses to guess what I did before. Anybody? Who said that? Who said? What did you say? Wow. Very rarely does someone get it right the first time. What's your name? Oh, Tracy, you already knew that. Jeez, I thought it was somebody else. Okay. Yes, I worked in the RCMP for 22 years. I worked all over Alberta. I did all sorts of different things. So let me ask you a question. Was I the poster child for a career transition to financial services? Never. Never. Most people, when they retire from being a police officer, they just go and do more police officer stuff. They just do it in the private sector, right? They go work security. They go work with Service Canada, become an investigator. Some work for insurance companies, but they're investigators. They're doing the same thing they did their whole career. I knew that was never going to be my path. Never. I had enough of that, working all over Alberta and in some very harsh conditions. And before that, I was in the military. So I was in the Canadian Armed Forces for 7 years before that. So I spent 30 years of my life working as an employee, and now I am not an employee anymore. I own my own and run my own business. Now, pretty much everybody here is new to Canada, right? Except you ladies at the back, we know that. So, when you came to Canada, I'll ask this gentleman right here, sharp dressed man with the light green jacket. When you came to Canada, why did you come to Canada? Awesome. Right? Better future for his children. Right? Where did you come from, sir? Nigeria. Awesome. So would you say that you came to Canada for a better opportunity to give your family a better life? That's right. So it's very similar to my path. I was working in a job as an employee, as a number in a very large bureaucratic machine. If you don't know what the RCMP is, it's the National Police Force for Canada. 22,000 people in that organization. So we're all pretty much numbers, right? And I knew a few things. I didn't want to do it forever. I was tired. I was very tired. And I knew that my income was pretty much capped where it was. I could stay maybe another 15 years and my income may have grown by 10,000 a year. So there's a few things I wanted. I wanted to be able to have the ability to grow a bigger income. I wanted to get rid of my boss and not have a boss anymore. I didn't want to work shift work anymore. That was a big one. And again, what's your name, sir? F.A. Like F.A., I wanted to give my family a better future. And they're all grown up. Like my kids are 20 years old to 27, right? I have 6, between my wife and I, we have 6 children. So we have a lot. And it didn't matter whether I grew up in Canada or I didn't grow up in Canada. We all want a better future for our children, right? Now, if and I'll wrap up here quickly, but if you were to come to our office, which is 50th Street in Whitemud, you would see a great example of what inclusion and diversity is. We have people that work in our office from, let me see, well, obviously Canada, the Philippines, Russia, Jamaica, Mexico, Colombia, Venezuela, and almost, I can't even, I don't think I could name all the countries in Africa, but I know Ghana, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Zimbabwe, Cameroon are all represented in our office. And I'm really proud of that. The reality is when you come to Canada, you may come with, like you said, right? You come with qualifications don't always get recognized in Canada. Is that true or is that true? Right? So you get people that have PhDs and have master's degrees, and they end up in office buildings at night because they can't get a job in Canada. But I can tell you, our company, everybody starts, whether you're a middle-aged bald guy or you just came from Nigeria, everybody starts in the same place and everybody gets the same chance because we all started at the same place. And we have some extremely successful people in our office who, in fact, the more successful people in our office are people that are immigrants to Canada. Why is that? Like Efe said, they came for opportunity and they worked their butts off. And because of that, they end up being more successful than people that grew up in Canada. Because they're here for a reason. They came for a good reason. They're only going to work hard to have that opportunity that they came for. So I will stick around at the back. If anybody would like to chat with me, grab my card. I'd be happy to talk to you about what our training and licensing program looks like. So I wish you the best for the rest of your day. Travel safe home, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. Last minute, Jennifer.
Thank you. That was very engaging talk. So right now we have, let me just turn the mic thing. I hope this works now. So we have this forum open for everyone. We have Ashley and Karina at the back. If you have any questions with hospitality, they're there for you to answer them. We have, I forgot the name. We have John and Folake with us from the finance industry. We have Gurminder from finance industry, and they're from the banking. So if you have any questions around these sectors, we will be really happy to facilitate your questions, and they're happy to answer them. So let's open it. And if you don't have a question, I'll start. Anyone has a question, you can come here and ask your question, or we can help you with this mic as well. So if you don't have any questions or still thinking about your questions, let's start with one that I have. I think I'll start with we talked a lot about finance industry and investment. So this question I think will be with Gurminder. So I'm interested to know that how you started your own business, right? With that, so how scary was that to start a business as an immigrant? Because we have a lot of immigrants here. They'll be interested to know that how scary it was for you when you just started the first step in your business. And did you get any kind of support for that as well? You want this one?
So that's a really great question because when we come here as a new immigrant, especially when I come here at the age of 22, so my English is the third, very scared. And whenever I go have my resume, never worked for anywhere because back home I worked always with my dad, business. Never had I worked for anybody. But when I came here, faced the reality that I gotta have a resume. I was thinking I don't even know that I have to. It's called a resume. So I figured it out. I got to make it out. Somebody help me. And that's how I started my career in Canada, doing some odd jobs. As a new immigrant, we do it. But I always had a dream that I want to do something in my life. But I never let that dream die. I never get myself discouraged. And that's how, as I say, as you ask the question, that how scary it was when I was getting into starting my own practice, starting my own business where I can be self employed. Being a self employed, you are unemployed every single day when you get into the as a self employed because you got to go out and do the work, and that's how you're going to make money. Yes, now I've been into this industry 10 years. Now things look much different than what it was 10 years ago. But yes, I was scared. I don't know what's going to happen. But I said, you know what, one thing to myself, that if I come to this country, I did not come here to do odd jobs, to do regular jobs. I come here to do something great in my life. If for that, I gotta get into an uncomfort. Sometimes, we are looking for a comfortable life, but we are not ready to do uncomfortable work. We are not be uncomfortable at work. That doesn't mean you gotta go and do some illegal stuff. You're doing illegal, ethical stuff, but for that you have to do the money to be uncomfortable. Like for example, I get into the insurance advisor opportunity. It was uncomfortable in picking up the phone, making some phone calls, prospecting people. That is uncomfortable, scary. But I knew if I don't do it, then I'm going to end up with working for somebody else. You have only two choices. Either you make people work for you, or you end up with working for somebody else. Choice is yours. For that, if I have to be scary with the sleepless nights, that's okay. When you're working for somebody else, you're scared. What's going to happen? Nowadays, a lot of people getting laid off. Just go and ask those people. Some people say, you know what, I have a great career. A lot of people lose their jobs during the COVID. Some people thought we will never lose. We have a guarantee of their jobs. I do not want to get into that path. But 15 years I'm working for somebody else. Now they come back to me and say, you know what, remember, sorry, we don't need you anymore. I feel that is more scared than when I started 10 years ago. I feel that I think about when I was working at Max, I was there for 7 years. And I've seen 13 years people working there. And one day all of a sudden I see there's they let go some people. That makes me scared and that gives me strength. Starting my own thing. And that's what I love, passionate about. If anybody needs help to get into this industry, I will love to, guide you, show you a path, how you can get license and all that stuff. But in any ways, feel free to reach out and reach out Tracy. You can get my contact information. And that's what I love about it. I hope that answers questions.
Thank you so much. So, mhm. So for now, anybody? Oh, we have our girl candidate. Please put your hands together for her. And thank you, Gurminder, for your answers.
Well, I'm Juliet. It's nice to be here. I just wanted to ask a question. For someone who does not have an experience in the banking industry, what suggestion or what would you say the person would have to do to prepare themselves to be able to get into that role?
Thanks, Juliet, for that question. And I know it's on many people's minds, so I'm going to address that. Banking primarily is customer service. That's the reality, right? But if not everybody, I believe 99% of everybody in this room have bank accounts. And when you go to the bank, you're going to see someone. And that someone has to provide service. And the quality of the service you get in that bank, you're going to compare to the quality of service you get when you go to McDonald's next door. You wouldn't think of the fact that there are two different industries, right? That's the way it is. So banking is primarily customer service. That's the reality. So what you need is your customer service skills. How well do you connect with people? Your communication skills, the ability to listen, hear what they're trying to say, hear what is meant, read sometimes in between the lines to figure out what they are trying to express, and be able to ask the right questions to uncover their needs. Because the purpose is to uncover the needs in order to find the right solutions, right? So it is primary customer service. Now, there are some other specializations required as you grow within the ranks. Okay, so for the basic role, customer service skills. For the more advanced roles, one of them is called the banking advisor position in RBC. That role requires a little more proficiency than just customer service skills. It is still the base, okay? Because you're still connecting with customers. For that role, you're required to have a mutual funds license because in that role, you're discussing things like credits and investments. And just like no matter how well you've done your job as a doctor, if you don't, as well as you're learning as a doctor, if you don't have a license to practice, you cannot practice, right? It's the same thing. For this particular role, if you don't have that license, you cannot practice in that role. So yes, your experience is required in customer services. And I want you to know this, even if your experience for customer service is from retail, it does not matter. So maybe you worked before with McDonald's or even Walmart or any of the retail organizations. That is fine because you're connecting with customers and you're honing your customer service skills. And with that, yes, you have the proficiency to work in the bank. Other part is the licensing requirements if you're looking at certain positions. But the base position, the entry level position, all we're looking for is customer service skills. So, Juliet, I hope that addresses your concern. And I know many people are also like, oh, I don't have banking experience. I don't think I belong to that industry. Reality is your customer service skills is all you're looking for. And even if you've not worked in customer services before, if you've worked in roles that used customer service skills, you're welcome to join the industry. I told you my story earlier. I worked in human resource management. The skills I used in that role were relevant to my role in banking, and I never had banking experience back home. What transferable skills are what we're looking for.
Thank you very much.
Good. Juliet is one of our country right now. Part of that trained 7 students in our all of us. Thank you for them is here right now. Only Juliet. We had Clara. Yes, right. You're supposed to be here. I don't know whether it's gonna, but this is exactly what we tell them when it comes to. I'm really happy that you can emphasize that. Because most of our candidates come from another country, they think to get into this industry, take is a rocket science, So emphasizing what really means that you breaking it down like this, it just means a lot. I know Juliet can totally, if she's smiling from ear to ear, yeah, she can just maybe emphasize that more. Cisco as well, what that means. Really appreciate that, And it's all recorded. And we see a lot of candidates also asking one right now. You can also maybe replay for this candidate. And something I want to emphasize. Yes, we have about almost 70 candidates registered for today. The barriers that immigrants face to work with, like, leaving job or coming to places like this is real. And this is an example of what we just see right now. Only God know what happened. Because many of them take transportation. Many of them are cold. So we can see maybe this is what happened today. So emphasizing that for hospitality, so we can recap this and play it a lot. That would be awesome. That was all captured here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. So what it takes to get into hospitality.
Do you want to come and take the mic here?
So what is it? And you don't have to say a lot. That's it.
Okay, so for hospitality, there's many different avenues you can go. What I will say is that it all comes down to serving customers internally or externally and having the ability to communicate, problem solve, and find customer centric solutions. So, really, to the same as the banking piece, all of those skills hold true for the same with hospitality, no matter the different departments, within Cisco specifically. When you come over, there are many different job opportunities in our 18 different departments that we have as an organization, where we can help, maybe give you some further detail on skills or transferable skills. But really, it comes down to the good foundations of all, employment opportunities are your ability to communicate, to help problem solve, and to be able to have a customer approach, whether that's external or internal. Good? Cool.
Thank you. Um, I have a follow-up question to that as well. Sometimes we have candidates at Grow Here, and many of them, as we talked about, that they start with odd jobs, or they start with, cashier jobs or cleaning jobs and all that. So, is this okay for them to add that in their resumes, or does it really affect to the education that they bring from their countries? I get this question a lot from our candidates, and I'm sure many of you would also be asked this question. So this is for employers. If you would maybe emphasize on this.
Okay, so regarding whether those odd jobs count on your resume, they do count. And it depends on how you put it in the resume. So you don't just go about saying cleaned, but you can, link that job you're doing to customer satisfaction. If what you're looking for is a role that requires customer service skills. Yes, it is cleaning, you're cleaning, right? But who is the end user of that service you're rendering? It's customer. If you don't clean that place, the customer would not be happy, right? The goal of your job, whatever that job is, no matter how lonely you think it is, the goal of that role is to satisfy a customer. So how you coin your job description in your resume for the purpose of satisfying customers is key. So don't just say cleaning, arranging, sorting laundry. No, tie it to the purpose, which is to satisfy, so that customers can have good reviews about your organization, so that customers can have good feedback and have referrals and cause repeat buying or return patronage or something like that. You have to learn to use the right words to describe the job, no matter how menial you think it is. If the recruiter is reading your resume, what message are they getting from what you described in your role? So describe the role in a way that it shows the end goal, which is to satisfy customers. And if you're looking for a role that satisfies customers, you can describe it to match that role. Okay, so I always tell people, don't doctor your resume. Yes, it's okay to write your resume to suit the role you're applying for. That is very important. However, don't discount any of your previous work experience because you feel you're overqualified. And many times when people talk about the fact that, oh, I have a PhD and so I'm applying for an entry level position, I should take away my PhD. I'd say leave it there. If a recruiter is curious to know why you're applying for an entry level position, let them know that yes, you're new to the country, you're new to the organization, and that role is a role that will help you learn the business. It's not because you're looking for a survival job. But trust me, if you tell a recruiter you're looking for a survival job, nobody wants to waste time with you. They know that when you find that dream job, you're done, you're moving on, right? Every recruiter invests time, and time is money for getting the right person. So if they are talking to you, it's because they want to get clarification as to why you're looking for this role that does not match with your resume. And your ability to bridge that gap strategically would go a long way. And so to make it clear for them that the reason why you're applying for this low level or entry level position is so that you can get into the organization to learn the basics. And that's the reality. With certain levels, especially the entry level, you get to be very hands on with what makes the organization what it is. You understand the policies, the procedures, how things are done, the culture, and all. So when you put together what you've learned at that level with whatever qualifications you have from the past, you are very competitive to apply for even bigger roles with the same organization. And the advantage you have is that you're already in the organization, and so you can internally prospect to roles that are your dream jobs. And that would have been more difficult if you were prospecting from outside. So I hope that actually clears the issues around whether your menial jobs will count or not. They do count. How you point it on your resume is what really matters. Okay.
Thank you. And I hope that really answered it very well. And yeah, so any other questions? Any other questions from your side? I mentioned that question because as an immigrant, we can understand in many countries there's no concept of odd jobs. There's no concept of even for the entry level jobs. It's rarely there. So that is why it's different here. So if there is any other question from your side, or we can and if, yeah. Hmm. We have Cisco and employers. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, and thank you.
Please, if you don't mind, we like to grow, and that include our feedback as well. If you can pull out your phone and do us while you're doing that, give us a feedback on what we can improve on. Yes, that would be great. Feedback, feedback. Please take a moment to do that. If you're an employer here, please let us know what you think. If you're a candidate, it's totally anonymous. Nobody knows who's doing which except you decide to put your name. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to come to our series. The next one is going to be in the next 2 months. That one is going to be in health. It's going to be in health. So we look forward to April April 20 something. Carmen, can you pull that out? So if yes. So if you know anyone that is interested in healthcare, please let us know. They should be there. And if you have any question in respect to this, please let us know. We want to take a moment to say a big thank you to Beyond Food. John is here today. Thank you so much, John. Yes, we're in the same field supporting individuals to get careers. So please do that. And then the last slide. Um, if you're done, please go have some snack and get to network and drop your resume. If you have any question, please do. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much.